ChatGPT Plus is free for college students through May. Here's the thing. You've got a lot to do between now and then. Studying for finals, writing papers, trying to keep your life on track. And ChatGPT can help with all of it. It can quiz you for your econ exam, make a study guide from your French notes, plan out your meals and study breaks. It can get really specific on how you like to learn. It can even help you come up with ways to stop procrastinating. So from now until summer break, take advantage of all the ways ChatGPT can make your life easier. Restrictions apply.
The Rush Hour with James Golden on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Welcome, my friends, to the Yes, It's Friday Again Already edition of Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour. Yes, already. It's Friday again. Hard to believe time is passing by so quickly, but of course it is. Glad you are here with us. And so much in the news today, in one way or another, touches on Democrat Party failure. Failure in policy with immigration, failure everywhere else. But let us begin with one of the Democrats' failed messengers over the last few years. That would be the former director of the FBI until he was fired by Donald Trump in his first term, James Comey. As you may know, last evening, James Comey posted on social media a message pretty much which 8647. Jonas, when people say they want to 86 somebody, what does that mean? Do you happen to know?
That means you better run.
Okay, all right. DJ, when someone says, I want to 86 that person, or that person should be 86, what does that mean?
Deaded.
They should be deaded. Deaded. Okay, so.
That's why you better run.
That's why you better run, because you might get deaded, because you might get 86th. Now, apparently, the guy that, we all know that. Have you ever, let me ask you another question, a little ebonics there. Have you ever been asked to run a division, anything, inside the FBI?
Me?
Yeah, you.
Never.
Never. I'll tell you, have you ever worked at the FBI, asked to manage anything at the FBI?
No.
Okay, but you guys know what 86 means. Mm-hmm. I know what 86 means. I want him 86th. We all know what that means. Apparently, ladies and gentlemen, in this vast and ever-growing audience, apparently, the man that used to run the most fearsome government of government agencies, besides the IRS, besides the CIA, besides a few of those other unnamed alphabet agencies, apparently, James Comey didn't know while he was posting, he hadn't unfocused that when he put out there that 47 should be 86th, he had no clue as to what he was saying.
Lottery numbers?
I guess he thought he was just saying, here folks, here's a look at today's pick 4. Here's your pick 4. Maybe I'll play these in pick 4, 86, 47. At least that's what he's claiming now. I had no idea. Anyway, Brett Baer asked Donald Trump about being 86th by former FBI director. That would be cut 3. And this is what President of the United States had to say about the call for him to be 86th.
He knew exactly what that meant. A child knows what that meant. If you're the FBI director and you don't know what that meant assassination.
Oh.
And it says it loud and clear. Now, he wasn't very competent, but he was competent enough to know what that meant. And he did it for a reason, and he was hit so hard. Because people like me, and they like what's happening with our country. Our country's become respected again, and all this. And he's calling for the assassination of the president.
Obviously, he apologized and said he doesn't.
Well, he
wasn't
apologized
calling for violence. But
look, he's a very bad.
What do you want to see happen? What do you want to see happen?
I don't want to take a position on it because that's going to be up to Pam and all of the great people. But I will say this: I think it's a terrible thing, and when you add his history to that, if he had a clean history, he doesn't. He's a dirty cop. He's a dirty cop. And if he had a clean history, I could understand if there was a leniency. But I'm going to let them make that decision.
Yeah, he's a dirty copper. Anyway, let's go back and revisit James Comey. Several months ago, he made another post on social media. This one about threatening language. That would be cut number 4. This is what James Comey sounded like a few months ago before he decided that he wanted to call for 47 to be 86th.
There is significant risk that threats will continue to be aimed at individual public servants and that disturbed individuals will act on those threats and harm poll workers or council people or elected officials. That is a very serious thing and has to be taken seriously. So I view that as very high.
Very serious. Threatening language, very, very serious thing. Just elected. Some crazies out there might go after elected officials. And yet here he is calling for 47 to be 86th. Unconscionable, I think. But let's give the man his due. He said he didn't know. He was only the FBI director in charge of everything over there at the, Federal Bureau of Investigation. Why would he know that the 86 means he just dealt with the mobsters, dealt with everybody else. How would he possibly know what was coming out of his mouth? All right. That aside, let's move on. Oh, by the way, Tulsi Gabbard has weighed in. She's the director of national intelligence. Of course, Ms. Gabbard told Fox News that it's a ridiculous and insane statement to make. Certainly within this context, but especially coming from a guy who's the former director of the FBI, a guy who spent most of his career prosecuting mobsters and gangsters. People who know and execute other humans use this exact lingo of 86ing them. I don't think Tulsi buying it. Well, I didn't know. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, we have a pronouncement from El Papa, the Pope, the new Pope, Pope Leo XIV. It's, I believe, an encouraging message. Leo, the first American Pope, also called for reviving multilateral diplomacy, promoting dialogue between religions in the search for peace. But the headline is that was the subheadline. Lead with the sub first, and the headline builds up the drama, you see. Pope Leo XIV affirms family. Oh, wait a minute. Excuse me. I'm sorry. You progressives in the audience, I know there are many out here that are progressives. You listen, and we love having progressives in the audience here. We want you to stay. We want you to enjoy your visits with us. But I might suggest that before I continue with this particular story, that you have a seat for a moment, just so that there are no, shock waves. Are you seated now? Okay. Pope Leo XIV affirms family is based on union, between a man and a woman. And for some of you, the news will get worse. For others, it will get better, depending on where you are sitting at the moment. Unborn human beings, he says, have inherent dignity. That's a lot for you to take in, progressive. So just be cool. Be cool. Don't do anything. Just be cool. Put down the phone. Don't be going on TikTok yet. Hold it. This news is from Vatican City, a city, by the way, that has tremendous walls around it. They built a wall around that place. Pope Leo XIV affirmed Friday, that would be today, that the family is founded on the stable union between a man and a woman. Do you happen to have, as we take in the first break, we had something else planned from the Beach Boys, but I don't think it deserves. We need Aretha. We need Aretha, Ain't No Way. Okay? All right, now we get that ready because this is tremendous news. The Pope has affirmed that the family is founded on a stable union between a man and a woman. Didn't mention anybody else, any other designated group, nothing like that. Simple, basics, like it was in that book way back when, that book, the beginning, Genesis, that book. Man, woman, yeah, that book. He says it's between a man and a woman. And he said the unborn and the elderly enjoy dignity as God's creatures. In his remarks, he also said the search for peace was one of the pillars of the papacy. He insisted that peace isn't just the absence of conflict, but a gift. Amen, Pope. Amen to that. But a gift that requires work, from an end to the production of weapons to choosing words carefully. For words, too, not only weapons, can wound and even kill. He said it was up to governments to build peaceful societies, above all by investing in the family, founded upon the stable union between a man and a woman. Wow. In addition, imagine that is being like, wow. But it is. Wow. Wowza. In addition, no one is exempted from striving to ensure respect for the dignity of every person, especially the most frail and vulnerable, from the unborn to the elderly, from the sick to the unemployed, citizens and immigrants alike.
The Rush Hour with James Golden. Entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
The Republicans, 4 Republicans, then joined by a 5th who switched his vote so he could bring up the issue again. 4 Republicans, Chip Roy, Texas, Josh Breachin, Oklahoma, Andrew Clyde, Georgia, Ralph Norman, South Carolina, decided that they were going to stop the House the House Budget Committee from advancing the big, beautiful bill that Donald Trump is supporting and other Republicans. Now, there are some New York Republicans not happy with it either, but they didn't vote to block this out of committee. So this is seen as a big catastrophe. Handful of Republicans think Trump's big, beautiful bill, says Fox. The AP conservatives block Trump's big tax breaks bill in stunning setback. The hard right lawmakers are insisting on steeper spending cuts to Medicaid and Biden-era green energy tax breaks, among other changes, before they give it support. Not the end of the world, folks. It's Congress. They're escaping for the weekend. They'll be back. It's not the final word. It'll come up. This is not a 5-alarm crisis.
The Rush Hour with James Golden. Entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
The Democrats are trying to tie the albatross tighter around their necks when it comes to immigration. I mean, of course, their political necks. Let me not set up the next story. Let's listen to a newscast that will set up the next story that I have for you. Cut 9, and just let her rip when ready.
Well, Bill, it's hard to believe you can kill someone and not do a single day in prison. But that's exactly the deal a teenage illegal alien got in Colorado after he crashed into an innocent woman while going twice the speed limit. 24-year-old Caitlin Weaver was driving home from work in Aurora, Colorado last summer. That's when a 15-year-old unlicensed illegal alien driving 90 miles per hour in a 45 zone crashed into her car. She was taken off life support 2 days later. Now, shockingly, the Arapahoe County DA's office has now given the unidentified alien driver a plea deal, which will see him serve no prison time and instead get only probation and community service. Weaver's father told Fox News he feels sickened and let down by the system.
I was sickened. It's hard to process the whole thing. You want some justice for your family. And then to have that, it did feel like that was gone. The probation sentence was a nothing. It left it as it's a slap on the wrist.
Now, one Aurora City Council member is also going after Arapahoe County DA Amy Padden for this week's sentence, with Councilwoman Danielle Jurinsky posting in part, quote, "This is not justice. Amy Padden, you are an embarrassment to the people of Aurora. This will be remembered. ICE, I hope you're watching." And the Arapahoe County DA's office told Fox News that they believe the conviction in this case and the negotiated sentence, quote, acknowledges the seriousness of this preventable tragedy. They say no legal outcome could bring Caitlin back. They also say it was a juvie case, so they can't comment on the specifics, and that his legal status played no part here, Bill.
Oh, that's twisted.
Yeah, it's all twisted. So, when this first happened, there was another prosecutor. This young lady, 24 years old, beautiful girl, was sitting, waiting at a stop sign on the line with her boyfriend on a speakerphone. This teenager driving the car said to have swiped it from his mom without a permission, 90 miles an hour in a 40-mile-an-hour zone, T-boned her car, said kill her almost instantly. One would hope that this poor darling did not suffer too badly. So you get this new progressive DA out in Aurora, Colorado, who just says, well, illegal immigrant, whatever. They never consulted the family before they came up with this, from what I understand. If the judge wanted to sentence him to less, that's the judge's issue. What happened in this case, the prosecutors created it into your issue. Now you're part of the problem. The prosecutors negotiated once this new progressive woman comes in, and if you go to the website, I've looked at her website, it's all the usual claptrap that you hear from progressives. And so now they're sending out some guy, an assistant district attorney, Ryan Brackley, to say, oh, we unequivocally condemn the team's reckless and unlawful behavior, which had devastating and irreversible results. We believe the conviction to the highest charge in this case and the negotiated sentence acknowledges the seriousness of this preventable trial. They gave the kid probation. They told him to go to school, and if he stays in school, then it's all good. How is that in any way acknowledging the series of killing this girl? He's here illegally. I tell you what, the federal government should step in here, swoop this young miscreant up, Don't send him to El Salvador or Gitmo. Keep his butt in Club Fed right here until he serves out enough of a sentence that would be a fair sentence. I mean, he violated her civil rights. He's here against illegally. I mean, the feds really do need to step in with this. This is obscene, what is happening. But this is Democrats. This is progressive. We acknowledge Caitlin Weaver's death was the direct result of a crash caused by an unlicensed teenager driving at nearly twice the posted speed. That's what this progressive says. She never says an illegal immigrant. This tragic loss is a powerful reminder that it's not just alcohol or drug-impaired driving that takes lives. Driving at dangerous speeds has deadly consequences too, and they are felt by our entire community. As she lets him off. Lets him off. Well, she's a young white girl. I mean, you know. It's Colorado, you know. Her family grieving. From her website on Amy Padden. Amy will focus on community safety, alternatives to incarceration for nonviolent offenders, juvenile justice reform, and ensuring justice and equity for all. Justice and equity for all. She will also prioritize finding better ways to address mental health and substance abuse problems in the criminal justice system. She will focus on community safety, alternatives to incarceration, because by all means, we shouldn't put people that murder other people using a vehicle in jail. We need alternatives. So we'll tell him to just go to school and be a good boy, and never mind the fact that you killed a girl. It's okay. She was just a girl. And please, whatever you do, don't go near ICE. Shh. We don't want anybody to know you're here illegally. Now, in Minnesota, they're fighting about the budget. Governor Tim Walz, I have something here from one of the Minnesota newspapers. Which one paper is this? Did I put it in? It doesn't matter. I also have a story about it from CBS News. Okay, Minnesota leaders announced budget agreement with rollbacks of health coverage for undocumented immigrants, sparking pushback. Legislative leaders in a divided state capitol on Thursday, that was yesterday, announced a roughly $66 billion framework to fund the government and its services, which includes spending adjustments to make a dent in the looming $6 billion, I guess they meant to say deficit. They don't say it in the future. But the agreement reached by DFL governor. Do you know what DFL stands for? It's not just Democrats. DFL. The DFL party. It's the Democrats the Democrats Farm and Labor, something like that. It's not librarians. It's the Democrat Farmers and Labor Party. That's what they call themselves out there in Minnesota. Anyway. The agreement reached by DFL Governor Tim Walz, GOP House Speaker Lisa DeMuth, and DFL Senate Majority Leader Erin Murphy, and the former DFL Speaker Melissa Hortman, includes significant policy concessions that could derail leaders' hope of getting most of their work done on time. Why? Because Democrats they are angry. They are beside themselves over what's in this bill. Under the compromise to come up with a budget framework, adults who are undocumented immigrants will no longer be eligible for health coverage under Minnesota Care, a program for low Minnesotans, sparking fierce pushback. Now, the word that is missing from this CBS story is free. So let me fix that paragraph. Under the compromise, adults who are undocumented immigrants, let me fix the paragraph again. Under the compromise, adults who are illegal aliens will no longer be eligible for free health coverage under Minnesota Care, a program for low-income Minnesotans, legal ones, sparking fierce pushback. Children will be held harmless. In other words, will be held harmless. It's like, anyway, the Democrats in Minnesota are yappy. The Democrat, listen, we got some of them. Cut 11. Here's some of the Democrat Party leaders, and they are yappy about this deal.
Thank you, everyone, for being here. I'm Snerdley from Senate District 50. I want to just put an exclamation point on what you just heard, and that was that we had negotiations with a party who does not care about the well-being of people, with a party who is willing to throw the entire state of Minnesota in disarray, to shut down the government, and in return for not doing that, they wanted to take away health care from 20,000 people. That was their priority. Their goal was to take away health care from people. And under the guise of fiscal responsibility. There is no fiscal responsibility when you do this. When you take away people's health care, they end up in the emergency department. It costs more money for everyone in the community. It costs hospitals more money. It puts our health care system in disarray. It makes our health care system weaker. Of course, families fall into poverty. So there is no fiscal, there is no economic argument to be made when we take away people's health care. So what they did was purely cruel. It was cruelty dressed as fiscal responsibility. There is no other outcome for when you take away people's health care. And this, I will say this again, was their number one priority. So what we have is a party who was willing to take away insulin from diabetics, inhalers from people with asthma, cancer treatment from people who just want a few more years with their children. All for political points, all for political gain, to say that we protected essentially homegrown Minnesotans. But all these other people who look different, who speak a different language, who have different customs, we do not care about them. We will not pay for them. We will not welcome them. And they can suffer, they can die, and we don't care. That's what happened today, and that's why we are here, because we are not going to let this go down. We are going to fight this till the very end. Every person who lives in Minnesota is a Minnesota resident. They are part of this economy. They contribute. They work. They raise their children. Their kids go to school. They pay $220 million in taxes per year. And we're not going to let them sit, turn around, and die. One Minnesota. One Minnesota.
Woo! If they have so much money, then they can pay for their health care. Just like every other person has to pay for their health care, unless you're on the state welfare dime. Now, what is not being said by these Democrats, always anxious to say Republicans want to kill people, is, of course, the Democrats, the former Labor Party, commie Democrat, whatever you want to call them, they lied as usual. They lied. They said, this is only going to cost, and I'm looking for the numbers. I saw the numbers earlier, and the cost of skyrocketed. Their projections on how many people would enroll were miserably low. So this health care cost, this free health care for people that are breaking the law, was bankrupting Minnesota. And if you do anything to actually try to take care of taxpayer dollars and follow the law, this is what you get from Democrats. That you're a killer, that you're miserable. Why not ask these illegal aliens to repatriate to their own countries and let their countries pay the welfare costs associated with their health situations? Why is it up to American citizens to have to fund every other citizen of the world that comes here? As long as you go to Minnesota, well, then we'll pay for it. We'll charge the American tax. These people hate American taxpayers that actually want to enforce the law. Everybody should just, it's a free-for-all with taxpayer money. Democrats have not learned a damn thing from this last election. Judge in a Braille Garcia case is hearing arguments. Another federal judge. And of course, we get to that. Tomorrow's another day. I got so much stuff to put on there. But I don't know whether this happened today yet. You know that woman that was out bullying trying to beat up ICE agents out there at the Delaney Hall. McIver. I got a story today from the New Jersey Globe. I must admit, I've never heard of the New Jersey Globe before. But it's apparently a very, very good journalistic organization over there. The Justice Department plans to bring charges against Representative LaMonica McIver, D. Newark, following a scuffle with federal immigration agents last week at Newark's Delaney Hall. 3 sources speaking on condition of anonymity confirmed to the New Jersey Globe. Much is unknown about the case against the freshman congresswoman, but interim U.S. Attorney Alina Habba could announce charges as early as today. And this congresswoman may turn herself in this afternoon, the New Jersey Globe has learned. Let's hope.
The Rush Hour with James Golden on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
You know, I found the numbers. Initially in Minnesota, 5,700 people were projected, illegal immigrants, to join this plan. Over 17,000 did. It was over budget by over $400 million. And so Republicans are saying, whoa, put the brakes on it, and they're being called killers. That's it for today, my friends. I cannot wait to hear what Princess Diana wants to talk about tomorrow, as well as America's small caffeinated mom, Rhonda Schrocker, will be with us. God willing, of course, and Lizzie Radabali and the whole gang, and your telephone calls on our Saturday morning vibe. God willing, we're all here for it. May God bless, protect each and every single one of you, your families, your loved ones. Love and gratitude for your being here with me, allowing me to be with you. God willing, we'll see you in the morning. Until then, my friends, I bid you adieu. Bye.
Thanks for listening to Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour. You can hear Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour weekdays at 4 on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?